What's up, everyone? This is Nate, and I am back with another Out of the Theater review. I just got home from checking out a movie called The Last Voyage of the Demeter. This is, of course, a Dracula movie, which I'll get into in a moment. But before I get into the review, if you would, please consider subscribing to the channel. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. That way you get Out of the Theater reviews every week, plus our live shows every other Monday. And hit that bell icon. That way you get notified every time we do go live or we drop a new video. If you would, please also just give me a like down below. It helps the video get seen. And leave a comment if you saw this movie or if you're looking forward to seeing this movie. Let me know what you thought or if you're excited or not excited about it. So all that said, this is a story that is in the novel, Bram Stoker's Dracula. And it's done in the format of like a captain's log, I believe, where basically there's a captain's log that explains what happened on Dracula's journey from Transylvania to England. I'm a big fan of Dracula movies in general. I did a YouTube video years ago breaking down all these different like versions of Dracula movies, from the old like Bela Lugosi version to the Frank Langella version, Bram Stoker's Dracula, Christopher Lee Dracula. So I do like the story, and in most of those movies, it is either just brushed over, they don't really show much about it, it's like a little blip, or it's not even in it in some cases. So to make a whole movie out of it, I thought was a very interesting idea. I was actually really excited for this movie. It was one of my top 5 most anticipated horror films for the year. And it's finally out. Now, this is, of course, directed by Andre Overdahl, who directed Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which I liked. I thought it was a pretty good, like, entry-level horror movie, if you will. He also did Troll Hunter, which I thought was a really fun movie. So, I was looking forward to this. And it was good. It was good. Now, I do have some positives and some negatives for this one. So let's go positives first. Always praise, give it the praise it deserves. First of all, the cast in this movie is really good. All the actors are really good. Even the smaller roles do a great job. I thought all the performances were good. Corey Hawkins is the lead character, and I thought he was really good. I'm surprised that he did such a spot-on British accent. He did a really fine job with it. Thought he was going to be like an American that somehow got over there, but he's not. He's a full-on Brit, so he was good. And, of course, my man, Liam Cunningham. You know him from Game of Thrones. He was, of course, Davos Seaworth, one of my favorite characters. And he was from Dog Soldiers, if you know that movie. He is really good as the captain of the doomed ship. So I thought all the performances, very good job. Now, also, this is rated R, and it has some really solid kills, some good gore. Now, it's not like over the top, and it's not, it can be brutal in spurts, but it's not like extreme in any way. But it's definitely bloody. There is blood. This is not a PG-13 vampire movie in any sense. It's definitely a rated R movie, and I appreciate it. Give me some blood. I'm here. It's R. It's vampires. Like, I want to see some blood and gore, and you definitely get it in this movie. I like that. I thought the production design was really good. The setting on the ship, I thought the ship looked great. I like the nighttime scenes. I like when they make it rainy, like the day, everything about it. I thought the movie looked really good. It looked accurate to the time that it was set, late 1800s. And I thought the production design was great. I thought the direction was solid as well. I think Andre Overdahl did a good job with the direction here, and I enjoyed that. Now, as far as negatives, I do have some. So number one, the one problem I had going into this movie is that if you know the story at all, you kind of is not as suspenseful as it could have been because you have an idea of how it ends. Just automatically by knowing this story. And if you don't know the story, the opening of the movie kind of lets you know where it's going. So for me, it kind of took the wind out of the sails, not for lack of a better term, in some of those, in some of the storyline, because you already know, well, first of all, the movie's called The Last Voyage of the Demeter, so automatically you know certain things are going to happen, right? I'm trying not to do spoilers, but I mean, it's like in the name. So I think that, for me, it undercuts some of the tension because it's like, well, I know kind of what's going to happen, and so it's not as suspenseful as it could have been. Also, I don't think the movie's very scary, and it could have been. There are a couple of scenes that are set up pretty well for like a good suspenseful moment, and It's not. It isn't. It's not that they're not. They are, but it could have been scarier. Is what I'm saying. So I didn't find the movie scary at all. Which I do like this part of it. Actually, this would have been in the positives. It's not full of jump scares. I think there's one or two, but they're well executed and they're far apart. It's not a jump fest where you're just going to constantly be bombarded by loud noises. So that's appreciative. I'm appreciative of that, but it's not very scary. It's not a very scary movie at all. And then the last thing is, I do not love the decision that they made with the Dracula character in this. So if you've seen the trailers or the posters, he basically looks like a monster guy. And he's CGI mostly. There's a couple of parts where it looks like it was probably a guy with like makeup and prosthetics, but for the most part, he's CGI. And they went like full on monster route. So he has no emotion. Like I won't say he doesn't talk, but he has like 2 lines, but he looks more like the Nosferatu version of Dracula than like a man, which is fine. I mean, Nosferatu, he looks scary, but he also, like in that movie, well, it's a silent film, but he talks. He's just ugly. And here he's like a straight up monster beast. So to me, that's not my favorite choice for Dracula. There is no characterization of him. He just kills and that's it, right? So I don't know. I wasn't too crazy about that. I did like the way the movie ended. And I will say, even though you kind of know what's going to happen, there was 2 moments that kind of surprised me. And I appreciated those. I didn't think they were going to go to one area that they went to involving our main character. I didn't think that was going to happen. And there's another one involving a side character that I will totally not spoil here, but it did catch me off guard. I was a little bit surprised. So all that said, a little bit of a mixed bag. I did like it overall. I think it is solid. Not great. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It's a good, like, grown-up, story-driven horror film. If you want jump scares, don't go. If you want very scary, it won't be. But if you like a good story with good acting and good production, like, it's a well-made film. 7 out of 10 from me. That is, of course, my review for The Last Voyage of the Demeter. Next week, I will be back with another Out of the Theater review, and I don't even know what comes out next week, so whatever. Oh, Blue Beetle. I will be reviewing Blue Beetle next week, so keep an eye out for that. Until then, take it easy.